Hi everyone, happy Saturday.
Hi.
Hi everyone. So today
We have two special guests.
the voice you're hearing in the background is my son, Jack. He'll be joining us today for our paint session. And what? Oh, right, yeah, and we also have a very special guest. We have our kitty cat. He's enjoying the session today as well. He's decided to join us today too.
Of what do you want me painting?
We don't know that. We'll see. No, he doesn't have any paint or anything on him right now, but we'll see how it goes. I'm sure he'll walk around and maybe through Jack's area at some point. All right. Very likely. All right, so it's almost 2 o'clock. We'll get started just a little bit after 2. I just wanted to jump on here and make sure everything is working well. I'm, again, using my cell phone for this since my laptop with Facebook is not our friends. So Jack and I are going to be starting a little bit after 2. So we're just getting our stations ready to go so that we're set up for you. So I have my canvas right here, ready to go here with my paint. We're going to be doing this image, Waterfall Calm. So if you haven't already done so, I would suggest you grab that picture of Waterfall Calm from the post, and then just like copy it and just save it onto your desktop and have it open with you as you're painting along, just so you can use it as a reference, since I'm not able to have it in the screen as we're painting together today. So we'll do that. And then I have my water container. Jack has his stuff going on and he has his stuff ready to go. So he has his palette with the paint ready to happen here. So this painting,
it's camouflaged, but there is white. There is white.
So we're using our white, black, red, blue, and yellow. So as long as you have those 5 basic paint colors, then we can mix anything you need with those 5 colors. If you have other paint colors, that's fine too. So we will play around and see how it goes. I do have some pre-mixed colors as well, so I might end up dipping into some of my greens or what are other colors as we go, more because I'm getting a little bit low on some of my primary ones and I'm trying to be a little bit resourceful with what I have, but I'll still walk you through what you would need to create the colors as we go through. So we'll do this step by step, and this live will be available on our page. So if you want to do this a little bit later, if you want to take a break and come back to it, you'll be more than welcome to. As you're joining our live, please jump in the comments and say hi, because I don't know who's actually watching until you do, and it'd be nice to see that, since that's the only interaction that we kind of have back and forth. So feel free to say hey and that you're joining us, and it'll be great. That's Jack's hair. It's hard to get both of us in frame there. So Jack and I will both be joining. So that's my crazy son with his long hair, which is long not just because of COVID and not going out, but it's he doesn't want to cut it, so it's just going to keep growing longer and longer, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I hate cutting my hair. I don't even want to trim it.
Yeah, so keep that going nice and long. See how that goes. Hi, Marion. How are you doing today? Thanks for saying hi.
See, a bunch of other people are watching you now, and you're going to do this horribly embarrassing moment by just saying hi to one person?
Jack, yeah, we're just saying hi to people because people are coming on, and then we're going to jump on and we'll start doing painting in a little bit. Hi, Val. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, well, I'm going to say hi to them. That's the only way I can actually say hi to people, because I don't know who else is joining and stuff, right? All right, I'm going to get my hair up out of my face, and then I'm going to start getting some paint on my palette, and we will start painting in about 2 to 4 minutes or so.
Or in about 2 to 0 minutes.
Well, you're going to wait though, right? You're going to follow along?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get that out of the way. All right, looks decent enough. Okay, let's see. So with this painting, it's really nice. I really like it. We had 3 painting choices. So thank you for everyone who voted on that. That was fantastic. So this week was water everywhere, and there was a couple of different options of how we can go about painting water. There was one that was an underwater that had a bunch of like sea creatures and sea life and water life and ocean life, I'm not sure, in there. So that looked really neat because it's like from looking up through the water. We had this one, which is the winner, the waterfall. I want to say water father for some reason, which doesn't make any sense. Waterfall Calm. This one was the winner. So this one's a great, nice, relaxing, easy painting that we'll go through. And the other one was like a very colorful wave. Lots of color, lots of blending, very impactful. And that one was not as close to be a winner, but it's still it was second place, which was cool. So we'll so we'll get started momentarily. So thank you all for voting as well. So for you guys, every Tuesday I'll put up 3 different options. All these options that you'll see are images that I find online, and then I'll go through whichever one wins, I would go about painting it, and that's how we do our painting parties. These are not my like own images that I'm finding. I tried to do that a couple weeks, and I went a little bit crazy to try to paint everything in advance so you guys could choose, so I'm not doing that anymore. But until I guess I have enough things that we can choose from of my own. Yeah, so we're just going to go through that way, and then we'll just talk about how we approach recreating different images. And we might do some that are from photographs as well. I really enjoy that process. We did that a few weeks back. So that was really awesome. The view from my window, whole scene. That site was awesome. So I think we're going to be doing that again too. That was really fun to do. All right, cool. So it's 2:02. Let me get some paint on my palette. So I'm going to start, get some black on here. The canvas, I'm using a canvas board. So it's very thin. It's fairly small. This is, I said it was an 8x10. I think it is an 8x10. I'm not good with numbers. But yeah, it's about that size. Maybe it's slightly bigger. Maybe like a 9x11 perhaps. So yeah, I'm just going to get some black on here. And we're going to we won't need white right away, but I am going to put a little bit on in case I want to dab into it a bit.
Dab, jab, jab.
Okay. No, don't do that, please. Okay. So I'm gonna get my blue going. Oof, I feel like there's some dried paint in there. You guys ever get that feeling? Gotta clean that out. I think I say that like every week, and I haven't done that yet. So maybe I won't clean that out. It'll just keep happening every week. Get some yellow on here. Yellow we won't need right off the hop as well, but we want to mix some of that to get that green going. But I might use some pre-made green as well, and I'm going to just put a little bit of red, which again, we won't really use too much red until a bit later. Okay. Cool. So there's my paint there going on. I have my brushes. I have 4 brushes today just because my thin brush sometimes is helpful, but I have like one that's a bit thicker as well. These are all like dollar store ones. These ones are from DeSera's, I think, from a long time ago. So I have a bigger one and a medium and like a thin one. So you have 3, that's great. If you only have 1, hopefully it's not super thin that takes you forever to do your background. Hopefully it's something in between. We'll go from there. Okay, cool. So let's get started. So Jack, are you ready to go?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, great. So I'm going to tilt my camera over somehow. Oh, I gotta change that around.
Oh.
Okay, a second. And then I'm just gonna tilt it down so you guys can see my canvas. Ta-da! Okay, hopefully that works out nicely. Fantastic. Okay, great. All right, so let's start off. So with this image, we're gonna start right from the background. So the background of the image has, it's basically black, and then we're gonna paint over it. So we're gonna start off by putting black in the sides here. So we're gonna start in the corners and get some black going on this page. And bring it into the middle. It doesn't have to have like pure black right in the center because we're going to put the blue on top. So let's start off with that. I think I'm going to start off with my, I'm going to start off with like not my biggest brush, just because the canvas is also smaller too. So if you have a bigger canvas, then you'll use bigger brushes. So I'm going to go with my almost big brush, but you can use your big brush if you want to. It's up to you, okay, Jack?
Okay.
Okay.
Also,
and then,
I have a question.
Sure.
are we painting like on the sides or the middle too?
We're going to paint the entire thing, but right now we're just going to focus, see on this painting here, how there's black on the sides, here and here? Mm-hmm. We're going to focus on getting that black in the background first. Because you want to paint the background of the image first, and then we paint things on top of it. So I'm just going to get black paint, and I'm going to get the corners in. And if you're doing a canvas, even if you're doing a canvas board, just make sure you're getting the sides of your board too. So if you do decide to hang it up, then the sides have paint on them. Okay, and I'm just getting pure black paint. I'm going to bring that in almost to the middle. And I'm just like getting it on the actual canvas, so. Okay, let's just get some paint on there. So again, I'm going to get the corners. If you want, you can feel free to paint like the majority of it black, and you can paint the rest of it on top. That works too. You'll have to just wait until the black dries fully to go to the next step. If you do that, you have to do it regardless. We can't really paint on top of the black unless it's dried fully. Or else the black would overtake our colors.
No one wants that happening.
No, we don't. Okay, so I'm just bringing it a little bit down too, because the black kind of comes in, and you'll see it like you have like your shadows coming in and behind the rocks and the greenery that's behind the waterfall. So I'm just going to pop that in a little bit too. And then I also noticed, so I'm going to leave, this is going to be mostly green, and then there'll be some black too. We're going to have, so I don't know if I want to put the black in right yet. Maybe I will, just to pop in where I want the line to be. So the water is going to be about the bottom quarter of your canvas. That's where your water is going to be. That's where the land is going to meet the water. So I'm just going to pop that in like where I want that waterfall to end. And I'm just going to put in some more black here too, because behind the tree it's very dark. Behind this tree too, it's very dark too. Okay, so I'm just adding in where I see some of the darkness, even in the mountain, and just putting in a little bit of black in those areas. Okay, so that kind of just forms out where we want the background to be and where we have the shadows in this painting so far. Okay?
I'm not done it.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time. It's all good. Because I still have to wait for a lot of it to dry before we get into like some other sections, so don't worry. Okay, great. I'm going to start kind of putting in where I want my waterfall to be with the blue paint. So I still have black on my brush. So I'm just going to start putting this in because I want the other colors to come out of it and really pop later. So I'm just going to put in where I want that waterfall to be.
Wait, what? So you still have black on your brush, but you're going to use blue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll do it
just
too.
to put in where I want the waterfall, and then we're going to just put in, like, this is where we're putting in kind of like the shadow of the waterfall. And then we're going to end up putting in the highlights to make it really pop later. Okay. Just want kind of the coloring coming in and the a little religious onto it. Okay, so there we go. So you might just see black on, oh, you can see, yeah, you guys can see that it's a little bit lighter blue in the middle. That's cool. That's what we want. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so just gonna get that going. And then I want to do the same thing with the green. So I want to get let's put a little bit of yellow. I'm just adding it right to the same brush. I haven't like washed my brush in any water or anything. I'm just putting yellow and blue together, kind of creating this murky green color essentially.
Sure, I did what you told me to do, but my waterfall turned
No, it's great.
To be
You're doing
like,
good.
Like still bluish, but like.
No, that's good. That's what we want. So just keep putting it in so you can't see the canvas anymore in the background. That's good. You're doing a good job. Because afterwards we're going to add on top of that, once it dries, we're going to do another layer and then really bring in the way the water will look. Okay, so I just got this murky kind of green going. And I'm just putting in these shapes of this background. Okay. The rockiness. Okay. Right now we're just playing with color to get the color of the landscape basically on your canvas, and then we're going to really get in and put in some of the details after. I like this painting. It's a very like impressionistic painting, so it's fun. Yes, love. I just made some green, so I just put some yellow and blue and mixed with the same brush. I didn't wash my brush or anything, and I'm just putting in covering all the canvas where the green's gonna go, where like the mountainy colors are gonna go. Okay. Okay, so now we have about 75% of our canvas covered in the colors of where we want the colors to be. So we have like a blue, we have like some dark green going on. Awesome. So that's really good. Okay, cool. So while we let that kind of sit and dry for a little bit so we can put in some more details afterwards, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the water now, and then we'll go back to this part once it dries off for a little bit. For acrylic paint, that's the great thing about it. When it's wet, it can blend really nice and easily. When it dries really quickly, and then you can really add some cool textures and details and add some other colors right on top, and then it stays really nicely. So I'm just gonna rinse off my brush and dry it off, and then we're going to put in a bright blue water pond. Water pond? I don't think there's no any other types of ponds. So, yeah. Maybe an ice pond, but it's still technically water. That's great. That's great. You got that going. Really good. Yeah, that's right. That's good. Good job, Jack.
Now what do I do?
Okay, now you want to just wash off your brush and get all the black off of it. Make sure try to get all the dark color off there. Okay. Okay. So now my brush is cleaner. And so now I'm going to work on the water here, and it's bright blue. So make sure that brush doesn't have any. I'm just going to help Jack for a second here. So let me just help Jack. 1 second. Okay. So here, so your brush still has quite a bit of, oh man, using a lot of paper. So okay. What I'm going to get you to do actually, you're going to walk over to the bathroom. You're going to dump this into the toilet and flush the toilet to get rid of that water. And then, stand up fully. And then put clean water in here, okay? Because your water is very dark. Same thing for you guys too. If your paint water is really dark, I suggest changing it out as well. So feel free. Yeah, put it in the toilet. Just try to make it so it doesn't splash everywhere. And then put clean water in there. Okay, so I'm getting just pure bright blue. The blue I have, again, from the dollar store. It's called Peacock Blue. Very bright, very brilliant. So I'm just going to put in my water. So I'm just keeping this line pretty straight if possible. Okay, great. So now that you're good to go, so now use just your blue, and now you're going to put water in to cover the whole bottom, make a straight line where the where the water meets the land, and then painted all that blue. Okay. And again, I think I need brushes with like shorter handles. Keeps hitting my computer. Okay, so I'm just going in like just back and forth, left to right way. So I'm getting the paint to kind of already feel like that pond of water that's sitting here. Okay. I don't want it to be perfect. Like, I do want it to have kind of like little lines in it, so that's good. So far so good. Okay. And I'm gonna add a little bit of different colors in there. So I put a little bit of white on my brush, and I'm just gonna put in some lines just to start building your water.
And then putting in the blue, now the white.
Yeah, so just while it's wet, so when you do the blue, if you paint it back and forth horizontally, it'll give you the water look instead of the up and down. So the same thing, just try and put the white in and do it and just blend it as you're going a little bit. Because your paint will be wet, so that basically the first line you put in will be kind of white, and then as you continue going, it'll pick up dark blue, and then it will just keep dissipating until it's blue, essentially. Okay. So I'm just making it look a little like a pond here going on. I'm gonna put a little bit of black because I want to make it a little bit darker in some areas. So I'm just gonna do that and just put little. No, you don't have to if you don't want to. Yeah, this long handle is actually bothering me.
And my canvas is very full.
Good.
Look.
Yeah, fantastic. Could you put it down, please? Put it down, please. I don't want it on the carpet, though. Okay. Yes, we paint in a room that has carpet. Not very smart. But that's what we do. Okay, so I'm just putting in some black shadow on either side because in the painting the mountains are kind of reflecting down and it's getting a little bit of a shadow from the mountains on either side of the water. So I'm just putting in a little bit of black, and I'm still keeping this kind of feel, just this back and forth kind of vibe, and you can go back and put some more blue in with your black and your blue. And it's still wet, so right now everything's gonna kind of mix, and it's a nice time to kind of get a good blended effect going. But then you may want to go back once it dries off a bit, and then you have a bit more control over it, and you can put in more specific lines and colors, and then it will stay with those colors since it will be dry and it won't blend. Just putting in a little bit of white. Just play with that, and I want to come back to this anyways.
The kitty's drinking the water from.
Oh no, Lion, no, Lion, no. Sorry, my cat decided to drink paint water. Feel like that's not a good idea. Yeah, don't let him do that, okay?
Try not to.
Okay, cool. So there we go. Yeah, people and pets should not be drinking paint water. Let's not do that. Okay. So now we got the bottom going. It has kind of the water vibe. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit because I do want to add more texture to it, but I want it to dry a bit more before I do. I said that, and then I'm putting in a bit more blue. But
oh yeah, also I'm going to actually wear a tattoo. I'm actually putting it on right now. I found an old tattoo.
Sorry, what?
I'm putting on a tattoo.
You're putting a tattoo on. Okay. In the middle of painting, you found an old tattoo in this room?
6,
You're so
7, 8, 9, 10,
tattoo break.
11, 12,
okay,
13,
cool.
14.
So I'm just going to rinse off my paintbrush.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Oh, Jack.
25.
Okay.
26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Okay, so I'm just gonna clean off my paintbrush.
Ah, come on!
Cause it's not, these aren't, no, they're not tattoos. They're like something else. Anyways, can you do me a favor? Can you go, do the same thing with my water like you did with yours? Stand up, please.
What do I look like, your butler?
No, you don't look like my butler. You're hilarious, but thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, great. Okay, so now my mountains in the background have already kind of dried off a little bit, which is nice. I still have some of that green going on and some white. So my brush is pretty like dry-ish to the touch, so that's good. I want to go back in and start forming where I want that water and the mountains to go. So now that my brush is dry and the background is dry, we're gonna work on the waterfall.
Here.
I'm just putting a bit more. Thank you so much. You rock.
No.
Okay.
So
We're gonna start working on the waterfall.
Well.
Yeah.
So now we're going to actually add a lot of blue onto the waterfall.
We're gonna do blue. I'm gonna try and do a bit more with like my brush being a bit drier to kind of give a bit more of a feel to it. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, okay. I'll paint my hand.
Joachim.
What? You did it too.
Yeah, but not with paint. The brush is pretty dry. Okay, so the way I get a dry brush is, so my brush is dry, and then I put paint on it, and then I make sure it's not like soaked in paint. So there's paint covering the brush, but it's not dripping in paint. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're going to.
I'm not making any promises about that one.
So I'm gonna put in some of the streaks going, and now it's gonna kind of drag down, but then it's not going to make like solid lines. We don't want solid lines because it's a waterfall and the way the water falls. You'll be able to see the background. Okay, so we're just gonna get that this pulling effect. So just bring it from the top and bring it down. And it's okay for some things to be a bit more opaque than others, and some things to look like there's not much paint at all in it. Okay, so I'm just using the full bright blue paint and bright blue peacock paint. I'm just gonna bring it down. Okay, so it already has kind of the feel more of water falling. And then I'm gonna get white. And I haven't cleaned off my brush, so as I'm dipping my paintbrush into the white, it's becoming like a light blue, and we do the same thing. Okay, so we're going to just bring it down. Start at the top, bring it down. Okay, so just start at the top, bring it down, let it stop where it wants to stop, continue it where you want to continue it. And it's okay if you get some other places right now, that's fine, because once we do the mountains, we'll fix up whatever we want to fix up and keep whatever we want to keep. Okay, I'm going to get even more white, so now it's going to be even a bit lighter, and now we're going to put more. Okay, so you're going to let the texture of the brush create the feel of the water coming down. Okay. Just gonna step away from it for a second, see how I want it to be. Okay. I think I want a little bit more blue. I want some more blues happening up here. The top because I want it to be with the blue up there too. I'm just getting some more white, and I'm just going to put some more of that in here. Okay.
What are you doing now?
Still doing the waterfall. So I'm putting white and then I'm putting blue and I'm just making sure it's kind of dry brushed so that it kind of gives this effect of water falling over a rocky mountain. Mountain? Yeah, I guess so.
Whatever.
Jack, you're in my way, baby. You can't be like that. Okay. All right. So I think I'm happy with the way my waterfall looks. I don't want it to go too much because I don't want it to become really thick. I like how you see the texture of the canvas come through because it makes it look like it's hitting rocks and it looks more foamy and whatnot. So I'm going to keep it the way that is. And so now we're going to go on and we're going to start doing the same type of idea with the mountains, but it's not exactly the same because we don't want it to look like water, right? So we're going to go, I'm going to get, oh, my paint's already dry. Okay, so I'm going to get some blue, going to get some yellow, make the kind of dark green that we had before. Murky green. Okay, and I'm going to start plotting in where I want this line of mountain to be. Okay, so I want this, so I'm kind of following where that green was before. Okay, and then I'm just going to let my brush kind of run out of paint as I'm going to kind of create some more textures of the rock here. Okay. Some blue and green, do the same thing on this side, and we'll go back and add some more highlights if we want. So it can be any sort of shape you want. I'm following what our inspiration painting kind of looks like. Okay. This one kind of has like another one kind of. So just kind of defining some of the edges that are, that we can see really nicely. Okay, and then I'm just gonna bring the brush down in this kind of way. I'm not doing it all, just doing some parts. Kind of like highlighting some of the rock areas that will stick out. Some of the parts kind of comes like that behind the tree. Okay. I'm gonna keep that darker on that side. Okay. So it has that kind of feel, that mountainy type feel. I'm gonna get a little bit of black and then just put a little bit with, again, my brush is very dry. So I'm just touching my brush. Blah. Long handle brushes in a tiny space. So I'm just putting a little bit of black on top just to give it a bit more texture, kind of more rockiness, I guess. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Kind of out of black. Just working for a bit.
More rainbow than rockish look.
Oh, cool. Looks good. So you're having, with your paint, you're putting a little bit too much paint onto your brush.
It still looks good though.
Oh, it absolutely looks good. But be cautious and make sure, look, see, there's paint here now.
Sorry.
Make sure it stays on here, okay?
Sorry.
That's
so,
okay. Don't be so sorry. It's okay.
Stains.
Don't worry. I've already done that. Like, I'm already accepting the fact this carpet, I mean, we're painting on carpet, it's going to get dirty. But I'm just trying to minimize it a bit. Like, I would rather it not be, like, covered in a bunch of spots, you know?
Okay.
You're taking a break? It's okay. Don't be hurt. You want to get in the shot for some reason. My son's a bit of a ham, so he's going to put his head there for a little bit, I guess. Okay. Get out of the way, Alfred. Go. Joaquin. Okay. So next up is we're going to put a little bit of highlights. I'm going to get some white, so my paint still has some of the black, still has some of the white. I mean green, and I'm just going to put in a little bit of white highlight in the same way. So I'm basically just touching it and it has this texture to it. The bristles are creating it, which is beautiful. You're just gonna touch it. We're gonna have some texture here. Okay.
Nice up.
Okay, so there we go. So my brush pretty much has nothing on it. It has like, I'm just gonna bring it down because I want it to have this kind of feel to it. And this is a little too rigid, so I'm just touching it up with my brush, which is again very dry. So it's just softening some of the lines that I've created before a bit on there. There we go. So there we go. So we got our mountains, we got our waterfall. How pretty, so pretty. I love it. Okay, great. So now let's go back in and play with the water a little bit. I'm going to change up. Your head is right where my elbow is going to be, and that will mean that you will get potentially hit by accident, so please be careful. Okay, so we're going to work on the water and put in some more ripples and waves, and oh, there we go.
That was not my fault.
No, it wasn't.
That
So what
was
happens when you,
completely-
alright, I just spilled my water. So, 1 second,
So
please.
now you're going to order
Can you
your-
please?
So
get
now
up?
you're going to order your butler to get more.
Can you please? Thank you, Butler. Butler Jack. Yeah. So there's a lesson in telling your child not to make a mess, and then you make a mess yourself.
Oh.
Alright, I'm just going to pat this down a little bit, and I'll sit in my wet pants to continue this going on. Kind of blame the long-handled brushes, not gonna lie. Alright, you guys can just keep looking at my half-finished painting for a moment. And is the water still on?
No.
Oh no, it's probably the, oh I see, it's a toilet.
Toilet, yeah.
Got it, okay. Alright, well there we go. Okay. I'm just gonna move over slightly.
Looks done.
Oh, it's not done. We still have way more to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna move over slightly. I'm gonna move you guys over with me.
Can I take the picture this time?
No, because we're not doing that. We're just seeing the canvas, Jack. It's not about you, baby. Okay. Okay, are you done? Or are you gonna continue with me?
I'm gonna continue with
Okay. If you're gonna continue, then let's continue. Okay, so let's go into the water on, which one do I want to use? Okay, I want to use my thin brush. I'm just going to put a little bit of water on it just so it's cooperative with me. And I'm just going to add some details into the water here just to kind of give it a bit more life. So I'm going to use my blue, and I'm just going to bring some light streaks. So I'm just going to put like little lines all over the water. And you can see it a little bit. You might not be able to see it too much because it's pretty much the same color, but it's still gonna start giving texture and feel to the water. Because then we're gonna layer it with some other colors too. So I already kind of did that, but you still see, I don't know, for me anyways, I can still see my canvas poking through underneath. And for the pond, I really want it to be more very opaque with paint. Like I don't want to see the texture of the canvas beneath it. I want it just to feel like a deep pool of water.
You mean like...
Okay. So I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard. Sorry, it's a little bit further. But it's starting to kind of have that feel of like little waves, little lines of water. I just made it a little bit lighter, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put it, oh, that's very light, my bad. I just don't want it to be that light yet. There we go. Okay, so I'm just putting in, just continuing and putting in some more lines. And I just made it a little bit lighter, or a lot lighter sometimes. And just putting in like little lines. The middle part, like where the waterfall is hitting the water, it's disrupting that kind of flow. So that's where you're going to see a bit more of these lighter lines come in. Okay. And then we're also going to put in some color because we also have those trees and everything, which is going to look so pretty. Okay. So I'm just putting in a little bit of some, I'm actually putting white now on my brush. And I just want the lines to kind of be like ripples. And they're predominantly in the middle of the canvas. There might be some that shoot off to the sides a bit. Yeah, I like it. Okay. I'm already out of blue again. I put some more on here. Okay. I think that's good. I think I want to do a little bit with black too, actually, but I just want to get my paintbrush a little bit darker. I don't want it to be, I don't want to bring a lot of the white into the darker areas. I do want a little bit. It looks like there's a little bit of a highlight here, which is nice. Another one like here, I guess. Right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna get black. Are you okay?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just gonna get some black on the brush too, and I'm gonna do the same thing with black. Do like little ripples in the darker areas. And they may come in a little bit. That's cool. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on this side here. I'm just going to get some more black on the brush to add some more lines, to give it a bit more of this feel on this side. We're going to put in some foliage and stuff in the front here, so you don't need to go all the way to the side if you don't want to. I mean, if you're having fun with it, then do it up, obviously. Okay. Okay, there we go. Are you okay, Jack? You're getting to the point where you're done?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel like you're getting tired.
I just want to listen.
Okay, you can. You may want to get back into it when we start putting in the trees and stuff, because that'll be fun to do.
Yeah. I know you play with some of the notes.
Okay, so there we go. So I like that. I think that's working nicely. So we have a nice background. We have that. Coolios. And then we do want to put in some of the colors that are going to be reflected from the trees. Yes, Jack?
I'll play with these.
Not right now, Jack. Excuse me, stop. Okay, so I do have some yellow on my canvas. I think though, it's gonna mix in a little bit with the green or blue, but we'll try it out. Put some yellow. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna put some here. I'm gonna put a little bit there. I'm gonna put some here. Start reflecting our non-existent foliage in the water. that's good. I have some red as well. I'm just gonna mix some of my yellow into my red and just get a bit of an orangey kind of color going.
What? It says Mazda 3/Toy Raft.
Okay, here we go. Jack, excuse me. Can you not do that, please? Okay, so I'm just putting in some orange. It's just in those spots, kind of where I have the yellow, I'm putting in a bit of orange too. Start giving some of that reflection. And we can always go in, you can do this, if you don't want to do this right now, you can do it after when you've already put in the trees. I'm just kind of having fun with the water and I want to put them in now, so that's what I'm doing.
How do you carve this wood?
Okay, there we go. So there we go. So I like that. I'm just gonna clean off my brush. Okay, and why don't we add our splashing effect to our waterfall? Yeah, so we're gonna put in some splash. So with the splash obviously it hits here. We're going to use white, and we might end up putting a little bit of blue as we go. So you want I use my thin paintbrush. I'm going to put in quite a bit of white on there. Okay, and then I'm just gonna like and then roll it a little bit as we're going. You don't want it to look, you want it to look just kind of random. Maybe it splashes up a little bit. And you're gonna let the bristles as the paint, again, similar to what we did a bit before, as the paint starts going from the bristles, you're just gonna kind of dab it and play with it and just try to make sure that it doesn't look too uniform, because sometimes what can happen is when you're dabbing it always a similar way, then it kind of shows up a little bit too uniform, and that's not nice. So okay. Make it a little, just dab it as you go. Okay, you're just going to be dabbing it like that.
Like when you love me.
Maybe some that comes up a little bit. Okay. And I just have like white on my brush, and I'm just doing that like that. Okay. It's funny because it's such a, it's actually quite easy to do. Are you talking, love? Okay, if you're gonna do that though, you need to leave the room, okay? Okay. And then I might get a little bit of blue and just put a little bit of the blue in here too. Just a little bit, just so that it's not all pure white, and just touch a little bit in those areas, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm worried that if I keep going, I might mess it up, so I don't want to do that. So let me show you. What are you doing? Okay, so there we go. That's how the bottom part looks right there. We got all the coloring and the water there. Awesome. Okay, so now that we took the time to do the water and we're doing the little splashback, everything here is now dry, so now we can then put in our tree. So in this particular picture, we have, oh yes, it's still wet on the side, guys. I got paint all over my hands. We have brown, and then we have like yellow and orange leaves. That's what I'm going to be going with, because I did put some of those colorings down here. But again, you guys can decide what you want to do. If instead you want to make them look like flower, like what are they called, cherry blossoms, and you want them to be pinks or purples or whatever, do it up and then just make the colors accordingly in the water with those colors. So yeah, so let's start off and play with that. So I'm going to grab my brown, and I'm going to use the brown that's already pre-made. I have one called cinnamon brown. If you don't, you can use black, or you can use red mixed with some of the black, and then it will turn really dark, and it will turn out really nicely, and put some yellow as some highlights, and that can work really nice. But I'm gonna just use my cinnamony brown. Okay, so I'm just gonna use that, and I'm gonna put in the trees. Do you want to do your trees or no? Jack?
Not really.
Okay. So I'm just getting my thin brush. I'm rolling it in my cinnamon brown paint. And then I'm just going to bring out where I want this. So this tree's going to come to about here. So I'm going to put in my tree branch. Okay, remember tree branches aren't perfectly straight. So don't make like try not to make like a super straight line, because then that won't look as natural. So kind of give it a little bit of movement. Okay. So that's one branch here. We're gonna have another one come out this way. I'm just gonna plot out where I want my branches to be. Okay. So I kind of want them to be like that. So I'm just putting in a few little lines in there. I'm just adding some more to make sure it's nice and easy to use there. Oh, whoa, there's so many comments. Sorry, guys. Absolutely did not see those comments because it didn't show me. Awesome. Hey, Scott and Nicole. Hello, Shyamali. Hi, Chanel. Hi, Alex. Hey, Lindsay. Hi, Hermie. Hi, Anita. I'm so sorry, Anita. I did not see that. After black, what color do you add on it? I'm so sorry I didn't see that. I did not realize there was comments coming in at the bottom. I apologize, guys. Normally when I'm on the computer, it like shows and it scrolls automatically. On my phone, it does not. So when I was doing the black way back here, I'm thinking is what you're talking about. To do the background here, I ended up I used some green, so I used blue and yellow, and I mixed it, and then I was able to kind of get that background going. And then for here, I just used like the pure blue when the black kind of mixed, so it kind of created like a dark blue background. So I'm really sorry that I didn't get a chance to see those comments at that point. Sorry, guys. Now I can actually realize that a lot of you guys were on here. I was like, okay, 2 people. Oh, no. But thank you. Okay. Anyways, let's go back. And hi, Gulshan. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you think it's interesting. I find this really fun. This is a really, this is some fun techniques in it that really create some beautiful art, which is, I don't know, what I really love about painting. All right, cool. So let's blot in this tree. So this one's going to be, this branch is going to be kind of like that. And you can follow along what I'm doing, like what it looks like in the painting, or you can put your branches anywhere you want. You want a branch up here? Put a branch up there. Do however you whatever your heart feels. Whatever your heart feels. Go crazy. And then there's another one that kind of comes down. Awesome. I think that looks kind of nice like that. I think I might leave that. Yeah, I think we're good. Maybe, no. Yeah, we're good. I think I want to make it a bit thicker as it comes together. A little bit, just a touch. Okay. Alright, so there we go. I'm going to put in a little bit of, I'm making it a little bit lighter, so I'm putting a little bit of yellow into my brown, and I'm just going to do a little bit of some highlights on these branches. So I'm just touching my brush to one side of the branch to give it a bit of highlight before I put in my leaves. Some of my leaves are going to come over these, so I want just to give it a bit of dimensionality before I throw on the leaves I'm just going back and always adding more paint to my brush almost after each one, because it makes it a lot easier when there's quite a bit of paint on there to be able to spread it smoothly. And as it's going, like, the paint is wet, so it's picking up some of the brown and it's just creating its own like highlights and color, which I like. It's blending nicely, so it's giving a bit of texture on its own. So I'm just touching it and kind of going around. Ooh, it's a little thick, that's okay. And if you end up feeling like you added a little bit too much and it's a bit too light, just go back and get some of the darker color. You can pop it back on. You can do that as well, like once it's dry, it works really nicely too. So you can just fully cover the lighter if you want it to be a bit more like that. Okay, cool. So there are my branches. Hi, Margaret. Thanks for joining in. All right, so I'm going to need a little bit more yellow on my palette. Ooh, I put way too much blue this time. My goodness. Okay, but that's okay. What can you do? Okay. So I have red, I have yellow. I do have some pre-made orange. I'm gonna grab some of that too. But if you don't have it, it's fine, because we can play with the red and the yellow. And I'm gonna try to do mostly with that as well. Just want that as a bit of a backup. Okay. So let's pop in some leaves, and it'll be so fun. So my thin brush, I'm just gonna go right in. Which one shall I use first? I'm gonna go with red. Let's get some darker ones coming in here first. Okay, so I'm just putting quite a bit of paint on my thin paintbrush. Right there, okay. And let's just start putting in some leaves. So we have some branches, let's add some of these. And I'm just gonna dab. I'm just gonna do little dabs. I'm gonna put a little bit here, a little bit there. Okay. Let's just go and just put a few. Okay, so where I'm choosing to put them, I'm kind of putting it kind of like more at the base of things right now. Because I think as I go up, I wanted them to be a little bit lighter. But right now, it doesn't really matter. You just kind of want to get some of this going, because this is going to act again as a bit of a shadow to the other colors that are going to come on. Okay, so I'm glad with those reds there. Put some more here. And just move your brush around so it's not all like the same shape. Just to give it some more natural feel to it. There's some nice reds going on. I'm just going to mix some of my red with my yellow. Okay. Oh, Jack's back, I think. Oh no, he's not. Oh, Jack has left the room for good today. Okay, so I'm just going to put some of this red and yellow mixed color on top and around. It's kind of like, this one kind of created a coral. The weird thing about when you pre-make some of the colors, especially, you know, this one's called Christmas red, so it seems to have a bit more of a white, like it's a bit pinky already, so every time I mix it with things, it already kind of has a different, it comes out a little differently. So there we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, and And you can make them like, some can be big, some can be a bit more splotchy, some can be more thin. Again, doesn't really matter, just get the feel of the leaves going on here. Okay, and some of them, and again, they're not all attached to the branches, like have them come out a little bit. That's fine. Okay. Okay. And then I'm gonna go in and just get more yellow as we're going. I feel like there's like a, yeah, there's a bit of a hair on my brush is impeding. It's bothering me. Okay. Good. So it's a little bit lighter now, so I'm gonna put a little bit of yellow going on. But it's just, it's not pure yellow yet, it's just like a little bit lighter. I just added a little bit more to my paintbrush. I'm just adding now. To the branches. So just like touch your little splotchy splotches. Okay, and just what I'm doing is I'm just, as it's getting lighter, I'm going further away from where I started. So now that I'm gonna now go try and get a lot of, I'm just trying to get my brush cleaner so I get more just pure yellow. I'm gonna go further, so just, there might be some still that come down into the tree, but I want it, there's a little bunch there of lighter colors. I'm still bringing a few that come back into, just to bring a little bit of continuity to the rest of it, but not a lot. Like it still is darker down, and then it gets lighter as we get to the tippy tops of the branches. Boop, 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 boop. Just have fun with it. See how you like it. So that's what I have so far. I think I want it to be a little bit more yellow in some of these. I'm just popping that back in. And as it dries, you will notice that you may want to add a little bit more yellow or maybe more red or whatever else into it. So just keep playing with it and just like pop in those little dots of colors. Okay, so here, I'll show you the trees closer. So that's one tree, and there's the other one. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. So we're almost done here. The last thing that's in this picture is like this like fluffy, I don't even know what it is. I guess it's like land that has, it kind of looks like someone's weird like hair fro or something. Not really sure what it is. I don't really know if I want to add it, to be honest. I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Debating whether maybe I just want to add like another like tree that pops in the picture instead of that, because I think that looks kind of strange. but I'm not sure. Let me just think about it for a moment and see what I want to do. So I'm pretty happy with the way it is. Yeah. What are you guys thinking? What do you guys think about your pictures? Enjoying it? So in the actual original picture, you can see it there, I think. So that's the original. It has this weird, like, fluffy, hairy thing on the bottom corner. And so I'm not sure if I want to do that on my picture. So this is my picture here. My version of it. So there we go. I think I'm going to leave that fluffy thing out. I think I don't really want that fluffy thing. And what do you guys think? Any preferences? Who's pro fluffy thing and who's anti fluffy thing? Let me know. Let me know. Susan says maybe another tree. Yeah, I think I kind of want to do another tree. That's where I'm going with it. Like maybe like something else kind of come in here. Okay, so Susan's on my side with that, which is cool. Any other votes before we either leave it or put like another little like tree or something going on? I don't think anyone's pro fluffy thing so far, so. All right. All right, cool. So yeah, so we have the two coming out there. So I think I'm going to maybe just add something else coming on the side here. Oh, here we go. Yay. I just made it a bush. We're skipping the fluffy thing. Yeah, I don't think we need to have that fluffy thing. And Alex, you made it a bush. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know about this. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your comments. That makes it a lot more interactive. It's more fun that way. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of putting a tree, but I kind of am digging the way it's feeling just as it is. However, this does kind of look like it's like floating in from the water, which is kind of weird. So all I'm going to do about that, because I feel like that's strange, is I'm just gonna like carry it off my canvas. So it's coming in from the outside. So I feel like that just looked a little bit weird. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of a line to it. Ooh. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it as this is. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that I am done. Although because of that, I was thinking of putting something in this corner, but now I'm not going to, so I'm just going to touch up my water a little bit, because I didn't go in as much as I did on the other parts, so you can still see some of the canvas come in. So I'm just going to get some blue and go over the areas that I don't like and I don't want to see. So I'm just using my bright peacock blue. And just doing the same thing I did before. Okay, I'm going to keep it darker on this side anyways. I think that looks nice. Maybe get a little bit of black and throw some more in here. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm leaving it like that. Hermie says more trees. Yeah. I'm thinking trees too, but I don't know. I think for today, I'm gonna wrap it up with this for now. I kind of like the balance of it. I'm digging the way the water's feeling. I like the splash. Like maybe more rocks are needed or something. Like I feel like it seems weird to just have like a rocky plain and then like pure water. Like there's usually rocks or something in a waterfall, so maybe adding something like that might be kind of cool. But I think for now I'm gonna leave that and wrap it up. It feels really early for me this week because the last, like, I don't know how many weeks we've easily gone in for like 2-hour sessions, so this feels like it's a really early wrap up, but it is just after 3 o'clock, so it's been an hour. I've really enjoyed painting this image with you, so thank you guys so much for your votes. So I'll show you again. So that's that is my completed painting. I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it in the comments so you guys can check it out as well. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the techniques. There's some different techniques this week, so that was kind of fun to do the rocks and the water and the waterfall and everything. There again, hopefully you can see it because I'm doing it blindly, is the original. Okay, and there is mine again. Awesome. So please, 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 please share your paintings on our site. I'd love to see them. Let me know what you enjoyed about it, and I'm curious to see what you guys did. If you guys did the fluffy thing, or if you guys decided to do more trees, or put like a boat, or whatever you guys did. That'd be really cool. I'd really like to see that. And I think I'll wrap it up for today. So yeah, so just as a wrap up, so again, every Tuesday I'll put 3 more options on our site so you guys can jump on and vote. And oh, I totally have blue on my head. There we go. Who else has paint on them right now in weird spots? Ha. There we go. So yeah, so just we'll vote on Tuesday and go from there, and then we'll see you guys next Saturday at 2 o'clock. The other thing that's happening next week, if you're interested, is that we're doing a fundraiser. So all the details are on our Facebook page. So we're going to be painting this like really nice like tropical like sunset type scene with a palm tree in it and whatnot. With that one, the details are on our site. It's a $15 minimum donation, so it says how to go about doing that. So basically you donate, and then you email Kim, who's the organizer of it, and then she will send you the link for the Zoom session that we're going to be having it. So it's not going to be a Facebook Live, it's going to be a private Zoom session. And that will be cool because I'll be able to actually see your paintings as you're working on them, and we can actually have more of a interactive conversation, so I can see what you're doing and help you out, maybe virtually a bit more than what we do here. So yeah, so if you are around and you want to support a great cause, please jump on, and that's happening Thursday night at 8 p.m. So yeah, so that'd be awesome. Otherwise, free on Saturday at 2 p.m. And that will be it for today. All right, guys, have a fantastic Saturday. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, I see some of your comments coming in. So you had a few branches. That's fantastic. I'm really excited to see yours, Val. And thank you, Susan, for joining, and Marion. Yeah, if this is your first time, I think that's fantastic that you jumped in. First time is always tricky. Acrylic paint is a love-hate relationship. So acrylic paint is great in so many ways, really easy in some ways, and really frustrating in other ways. A lot of people on this group was their first time doing it before, and they totally feel that. So please don't feel shy to share it, and it's great to see progress too if you keep joining us. It's really fun. All right, guys. I think I'm done talking for now, but it was fantastic to have you guys share with us. I also saw too that we hit 400 followers today, which I'm really excited about. So thank you all, and please keep sharing this with anyone you think who might be interested in listening to me and watching me paint and having fun with this group of people. That's about it. All right, guys, have a fantastic weekend. Bye.